We're doing some pewter casting, though the way that everything's set up here, this would really be mostly work of lead casting in the day. So we're using pewter to showcase what would have been done with lead. So I've got a few different molds and setups. The one that I've got that I'm going to prep up over here is actually one of the older forms of casting metal in general. It's known as sand casting, using a little Delft clay and just a ring to hold the clay, and then you're able to push a shape in. So I have in here a signet ring used for marking letters and sealing them with wax. And that could be made from lead in the day. Basically, we're just going to push this in. And once that's pushed into the clay, we get the shape that we need. And that's going to be good for pouring. Also got a 1700 style musket ball mold. We've got our ladle all set up here. And you know what, we'll go with one other thing. We'll go with our toy soldier setup. So, it's a modern mold. It's rubber, but this is taken off of a original molds of toy soldiers. We'll do this one, see if I have more luck with this one today. So this is the exact mold that would be used for making this. Generally these molds would be made out of wood historically, and often this was something that little boys would be able to do. So the job that I have, that I just kind of throw some stuff together and make it look work. So we can take a little talc powder, quite a large amount. Since there's so much, I'm going to just put this together. Go like this to begin with, and then we're going to brush the powder with the brush here. This is going to help prevent the pewter from sticking to our mold. Brush this in here too. Tap that out. Tap this out. We take our 2-part mold and go ahead and stick that together, and then we're going to clamp it in place. Get some clamps. That there. We'll take this. This other clamp in here. Casting is a lot of waiting around for things to happen, taking your sweet time to get everything hopefully to work well, and then a little bit of excitement when it melts and you pour, and then suddenly it's back to kind of boring work. Because whenever you cast something, there's always some flashing or extra material that has to be filed, sand, cut away, and you try to save as much of the original material as possible. We can get this down here. Let's see. I'm gonna get a ladle. Get a ladle on top of the fire. The fire is very small. It doesn't need to be that big for what we're doing. Any fire is well over 1,000 degrees. The pewter and lead melt around like that 400 degrees mark, so it's like nothing. Okay, I was looking at this, and I'm going to reuse some pieces that I didn't like, or I don't feel like doing the work to clean them up right now. Get these guys, some odds and ends, and then I'm going to also rip out the main thing. So got a ladle here. Drop those guys in. I've got a big chunk. Actually, this whole guy didn't even take. Look at that guy. Okay. These guys in. Okay. So if you want to look at what I'm talking about where there's like excess, this is a good example that I keep because it's so bad. So you can come close, you can pick this up if you want. You can see a few different things in the mold. So you can see what's called flashing in between the legs. That's just the pewter seeped into tiny little openings and filled it as it was pouring in. And then you can see these little spuds on the ends that maybe look like they belong there, also maybe looks like they don't. And the reason they're there is because as the pewter goes in, air gets trapped in certain spots. So when you first open one of these molds, you pour it in, and you are intentionally looking for not a beautiful piece, but instead you're looking for, hey, where are the mistakes? Where didn't it fill? So the arm frequently traps air. So you cut a little air hole in there, vent. And in an ideal world, the air goes through it, and that's about it. But sometimes it ends up filling the piece, and then you just trim that away. So that's why I always keep this. And then this is the sprue that all gets cut away anyway. And then you could be left with a soldier that will look something like this before painting. And then you can end up painting them up, making them look nice. Okay, let's see what's going on over here. Ladle here. Now, if you've ever melted chocolate, you're familiar with how this works. It's a lot of waiting, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, you get a puddle, and then everything more or less starts to go. So we're waiting for that puddle to be visible.
How come you cracked out the leftover before you put new stuff in there?
This is always good to just reuse what you're not going to keep. Metal, for the most part, yeah, it slowly degrades as you do it, but it's not enough to really worry about in here. So,
but you wouldn't be able to reuse that.
This stuff.
Yeah.
Some of this has like a lot of garbage. Some of this stuff I would keep and throw in again.
You gotta
like the center
inspect
portion.
it first, though.
Yeah, that's why. Like this part will be more or less good. Clean that up. You can toss that in. Usually I look at it more towards the end of the day because a lot of this is left over from like the end of the pot, and it picks up like little imperfections. Could melt it out, but better off melting it out and then cleaning it. Yeah, those are sinkers. Well, that's a sinker. The one that's in your hand right now is a bullet. This is another sinker. What's cool about those is that I did the sand casting, but I did the double side on that. So it was a double or two-part mold for that. And the two-part mold, I actually did this off an original sinker from the 1800s.
What do the sinkers do?
For fishing. They bring your fishing line down. Okay.
What's
so
this?
That is the insignia that's on here. It's on a signet ring. So when you're closing a letter with wax back then, because they didn't have that like lick the envelope type of envelope back then, you used wax. You poured wax on there, and then you push your finger in to mark it with your signet or your name. So that's that ring.
Your letter wasn't tampered with the wax seal was there, and that's how you could see who it came from too. You would have like a special M, whatever.
Yeah, a special mark for it. So we have our puddle starting to form here. Just melt right on down. Okay. Now, that looks like a fun thing to play with, liquid metal. So, first thing I'm going to do is come through, try to scrape out anything I don't want. Okay. We are going to start with our soldier. I'm right-handed, but I'm going to pour left-handed here for you guys. somehow that doesn't instill faith on me. I don't think anything happened there. I think the metal cooled before it got in. This is the fun part, so you can imagine being a soldier. So you let that sit in there, pop it out, get the next one.
That's how you make bullets.
Pour it in. Pop that out.
They go quick.
Yep. I'm going to try to change hands here because there's more liquid on the other side. No. Now that part's already cooled. Whatever's in there also has cooled. And we're going to go ahead and we'll start with the one of the bullets here.
It's a little shift.
Grab this. Pull it down. And then we've got finished bullet. Now, it's finished in the fact that this is done from the casting. What you would do next is take a nipper, nip that off, and then I did not bring my big file today, so I'm not going to sit here and do this, but you would very quickly take a large file and just file down the edges, making it feel like a perfect round circle. I have my tiny file here, so this would be kind of ridiculous to be doing. So that's the reason I'm not going to sit here, file the whole
Is
thing.
that why all these bullets are?
Yeah, a lot of them are. There's one here. So this is one of the ones we just did. And you could probably churn out a finished one like this in under a minute, right? Like you saw how quick it is to mold them. Then you go ahead and file it, cut it really quick. Very easy to do this. And these are the shots that would be used in the musket. And Revolutionary War muskets were not that accurate. They're using this ball shape, which is not aerodynamic in any way, shape, or form. It's not until a few years before the American Civil War do we get like a shell shape, which is much more accurate. They're made out of lead, and what most people don't realize is lead is a soft metal, just as pewter is a soft metal. It also has a low melting point, so when it comes out of the barrel of a gun, it's going to be pretty hot, it's moving pretty fast, which is also getting more heat. It's going to be relatively pliable when it hits into a solid object like a bone, and then it's going to bounce around, and it's not going to be fun for the person who gets that bullet on them. So tons of damage is inflicted from these guys, and that's why there's so many ideas of like, hey, we're going to just amputate the arm off, or the leg off, or whatever it is, because it's a lot of damage to the skeletal system, as opposed to a modern bullet, which doesn't have that same effect generally. So we'll take a look at this. I have a feeling that I kind of saw it as it was going in, and it cooled like maybe an inch down, which is not good, because if I had to take a guess, we don't even have a soldier here, which is true. We have next to nothing. It happens sometimes, and that's why you immediately go ahead and you throw it back in the ladle, and you can make another one. It's the nice thing about working with metal, is that you just toss it in, you reuse as much scraps as possible, and you're good to go. Let's see how the signet came out. I keep trying to get the right amount of pour in here, and I keep disappointing myself every time. But it needs a very small amount of metal, but in a very large area. Take a look at how that came out, though. Came out nice.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more metal than what I wanted in the back. Hey, touch it, it's cold. You guys have any questions about anything?
I see that the mold pieces are coming off a little bit onto the...
So yeah, so that's sand basically, and the way that you initially get rid of that, take a wire brush. You can just hit it. And after that, pretty good. Not bad, right? So another one where I did the sand casting, but I actually just carved into the sand. What's it supposed to be?
Ship.
Yeah. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. So that's how metal is cast.
Thank you.
Oriental bowls.
Very cool.
You're welcome.